Good evening, everybody. So today we're going to be talking about Kedoshim, holy, and that it's the daily Torah portion of the week. So the Torah portion is split up into three sections, which is Torah, prophets, and gospel. Today we're going to be looking at all of it, the Torah, the prophets, and the gospel, and connect them together into one, into what it really means, what it actually is saying. So it's Torah is the Leviticus chapter 19, verse 1 through 27. And prophets is Amos 9, 7 through 15. And gospel is John 7, 53 through 10, 21. So we're going to read the gospel for a little bit and talk about what Jesus did in his time, what it is that Jesus did, and what it actually is meant to do for us, and why is it important to talk about Kedoshim, or holy. So what we're going to read today is what we're going to do is we're going to read today is the gospel. We're going to start out with the gospel. And so I'm really interested to talk to you guys about John. So right now we're going to start out reading it, and I'm going to connect all these to see through what Jesus or what our Father wanted us to learn. They each went to his house. But Jesus went to the mountain of Olives. Jesus went to the mountain of Olives. Early in the morning he came again to the temple. All the people came to him and sat down and taught them. The scribes and Pharisees brought a woman who had been caught in adultery, and placing her in the midst. And they said to him, "Teacher, this woman has been caught in the act of adultery. Now in the law, Moses commanded us to stone such women. So what do you say?" This they said to test him, that they might have some charge to bring against him. Jesus bent down and wrote with his finger on the ground. As they continued to ask him, he stood up and said to them, "Let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her." And once more he bent down and wrote on the ground. But when they heard it, they went away one by one, beginning with the older ones. And Jesus was left alone with the woman, standing before him. Jesus stood up to her and said, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" She said, "No, Lord, no one, Lord." And Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on, sin no more." Now, this portrays a really, really big part of our lives and how we think and how we need to do this. The Torah outline is this is what it says. Is Leviticus 19:1 through is ritual and moral holiness, the holiness of the world and what really the morals of holiness. Then Leviticus 21 says penalties for violations of holiness. The prophets, it says the destruction of Israel in 9:1, and in 9:11 it says the restoration of David's kingdom. That's what we're going to look at today is Kedoshim, how everything needs to be holy, holiness. So let's keep reading. "I'm the light of the world." And again, Jesus spoke to them saying, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, will have the light of life." So the Pharisees said to him, "You are bearing witness about yourself. Your testimony is not true." And Jesus answered, "Even if I do bear witness about myself, my testimony is true. For I know where I came from and where I am going, but you do not know where I came from or where I am going. You judge according to the flesh. I judge no one. Yet even if I do judge, my judgment is true. For it is not I alone who judge, but I and the Father who sent me. In your law is written that what the testimony of the two people is true. The truth will set you free, and holiness is freedom. It's the following, by following the laws of Jesus, you're going to be holy. You're going to be holy, and you really will be holy. Let's see what Leviticus states. Leviticus says, "The Lord is holy." And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to all the congregation of the people in Israel, and say to them, you shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, is holy." See, the main word in this whole chapter, in this whole Torah portion, is holy. Holy, holy is the Lord. See, the real word for holy is actually kadosh, kadosh. But here it's Kedoshim, which might be just a korin, or just a root word of it. See, I find it really, really interesting this session, because it states that if you sin, you will be unholy, and there are penalties for that. It states for a lot of things that this is holy, this is holy, this is holy. Amos, it actually talks about the same thing, about something being not holy to turning holy. Yeah, I'm going to read this part of the prophets. You are not like the Cushite Sumi, O people of Israel. Are you not like the Cushite Sumi, O people of Israel? Declares the Lord. Did I not bring you up from the land of Egypt, and the Philistines from Caphtor, and the Syrians from Kir? Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the kingdom. And I will destroy from the surface of the ground, except that I will not. And behold, I will command and shake the house of Israel among all the nations, as no one shall succeed. That's over the restoration of Israel. The restoration of Israel is, behold, I will. And in that day I will rise up from the booth of David that has fallen, and repair its breaches, and raise up its ruins, and rebuild it as it is in the days of the old. It talks about from turning something that is not holy, that is sinned, into something holy. And that's what this portion talks about. It talks about making something that is not holy, holy. Let's read some of that portion. Let's read some of the commentary about this chapter. What does a holy person look like? Do you picture a priest or a nun? Maybe a preacher. Perhaps you imagine a Hasidic Jew with a full beard, side locks, and black hat. Leviticus 19:20 contains the Bible's description of what holiness looks like. The passage begins with the words, "Speak to all the congregation of the sons of Israel and say to them, you shall be holy, for the Lord your God, for I, the Lord your God, am holy." That's the thought of the week. That's what it states. Now, one of the laws of holiness states, "You shall not steal, nor deal falsely, nor lie to one another." Have you ever been ripped off by a religious person? It's unsurprising when we are cheated by the people of the world. But is this not certain? This concerning when a professing Christian or an observant Jew deceives or finally abuses us, or financially abuses us. We expect more from the religious person than a secular person. We assume that a religious person will conduct his affairs in concert with his moral values. That makes a religious person different from a secular person. That's what being holy is all about. The Torah says that when a religious person conducts himself without integrity, he profanes the name of God. What profane is the opposite of holy. Holy means set apart. Kedosh, set apart. Profane means common and ordinary. Profane means normal. Holy means not normal, set apart, us, different from the other people, different from others. When a religious person conducts himself without integrity, he profanes the name of God. When a religious person conducts himself to different than the common, I'm busy, ordinary people around him, he makes God look common and ordinary too. He damages God's reputation. And an unbeliever who steals deceives lies for jewelers and swindles is unremarkable. But when a believer acts that way, he disgraces the faith. He gives opportunity for unbelievers to say, "You see us? He's just like us. I knew there was no substance to his God or his religion." The sages understood the commandment, "You should not oppress your neighbor nor rob him," as says in Leviticus 19:13, to be a prohibition against dishonest business transaction. As disciplines of Yeshua, obedience to God's Torah, we need to strive for honesty. We need to strive to be holy. That's the whole point of us, is we need to strive to be holy. That's what it all is about. I mean, this is exactly what Jesus does. He is the holiness. He is the set apart, kadosh thing that we need to follow. When Jesus came down, he was the perfect holy. He was the holy being. He was the holy being that everyone needed to look up to. So what he did is he made the unholy holy. So that he is the holiest. Here is the unholiness. He's going to take over the whole unholiness and make it holy once again by making it holy. And that's what this is. If it wasn't for and he can do it to every single person, but to do it to the whole world, that is difficult. That's why he does something that is remarkable. He just dies for our sins, right? To make us holy, to make us those children of Israel, those children of God, these children of God that we need to be. See, let's read some more of, let's read some more of Leviticus. Every one of you shall rever his mother and his father. You shall keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. Do not turn to idols or make yourselves any god or cast. No, I am the Lord your God. He stated, you must be holy. You must be set apart from the other world. If the world makes idols, ye shall not. And I said, love thy neighbor as yourself. That is I'm busy. I know, give me a sec. You shall keep my statutes. And then there are these punishments that go on there. See, John 8 states this. We have 8. So Jesus said to the Jews who had believed in him, if you abide by my word, you are truly my disciple, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free, make you holy. They answered him, we are offspring of Abraham, and have never been enslaved to anybody. How is that you say you will become free? Jesus answered them, truly, truly, I say to you, everyone who commits sin is a slave to sin. The slave does not remain in the house forever, the son remains forever. So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. I know that you are offspring of Abraham, and you seek to kill me, because my word finds no place for you. I speak of what I have seen with my father, and you do what you have heard from your father. He's talking to the Pharisees. He's trying to make a point that he is the holiness that everyone needs to look for. That's what Kedoshim, holy, Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. This big point, and this factor makes the biggest difference in our world. If we are not holy, we can't be with Jesus, because Jesus wants us to be holy. By making us be holy, we can enter the kingdom of heaven through the death, only through the death of Jesus Christ. Thank you guys for joining me. See you guys next week or some other time. Next week's Torah portion. Okay, this is Oregon. I'm out.